path to recovery with a rough start to the first half on Chalet, but a nice recovery in the second half, nearly taking it to OT after being down 1-5. Things end 7-4, if memory serves me correctly. So let's see if they can improve on that at all. Maybe even send us to a map 3. Bans are coming in, and so far repeating for BDS, as Dokkaebi is going to be the first ban from them again.
Just too strong, man. Like we were talking about earlier, she has everything under the sun and the kitchen sink at her disposal. To remove her from play, Habana will also be dislodged, as she's just so dang good at playing around the hatch play on any map that really revolves around that, and that's definitely one of the central pillars of Bank's gameplay. Valkyrie's going to be removed from the defensive end, a very stalwart character that we usually see brought every single dang round, John. She's so good on this map as well because of those high vaulted ceilings, a lot of places to hide those cameras, so a very solid ban. Now let's wrap this up with the bow, shall we? BDS is going to get rid of Solus, probably one of the smartest characters to remove in the current meta.
Pretty heavily being used in that previous map as well, most notably by BDS, ironically enough there, but W7M.
It's a CYCLOPS mainstay as of right now too. He's kind of switching back and forth between that, some Azami play, and then you kind of have your sprinkle of ops, you know, past that.
Too dangerous of a map, though, I think, to allow Solus to have freedom, just considering how roam-heavy this map can be on some of the other sites, except for this one here. So that's just a policy the BDS want to deploy towards, to not give W7M that freedom.
You say that, but I guarantee you we see the delay inside of open area. Not that there's actually going to be any engagement. The pressure will come from the offense, the defense will fall back. It'll probably be around like a minute 25, minute 30 seconds. We'll see how just dang good I am at my analyst job here in a second, John. As BDS is going to be setting up the map, this is looking very similar to what we saw against Oxygen yesterday for their downstairs defense, with some of this more central floor play out of BDS, just trying to murk the waters up a little bit for W7M before they enter the building.
No surprise when it comes to what we're seeing here in the opening few moments. Of course, we're going to have that Warden added in for Renshiro just to be able to counter out some of the more flashy type of entry power we would tend to get from W7M, although not looking like we're actually going to get a whole lot of that to start things out here. Just the 2 sets of smokes coming in from Nade that he's going to be able to work against, but even that will be a good potential counter for him, especially if he's going to be deployed against that wall on the left side of the screen right now. This the red hallway here is where he'll more than likely play when push comes to shove in the late round there, and hopefully we'll be able to use the strength of the smart glasses from inside of that position.
We saw the cadence of W7M in that last map.
Ooh,
you and I talked about the fact that once the play starts for W7M, once they get into this round, they never stop. They're always actively doing something. They never take that moment to really just step back and completely shut down their own play to reset. They don't really utilize that portion of play, which honestly, I am a huge fan of. I love the fact that W7M constantly keeps the ball rolling. Even if sometimes it is to their detriment, it does work out extremely well for them because they can catch people off guard. They can make huge plays like what we're seeing right now. BDS has no idea that anybody's inside of Gold Vault, that Yokai gets eliminated. Goyo, a lot of damage onto him, or rather Fenrir. So bounce back over. Little man bun got a hold of me there. Short hair, man, I'm telling you. Filippo, though, rather Felipox will be able to take him down. Look, in fact, I'm going to trade things out. And W7M, although a burst of speed into Gold Vault, John, it seems to have landed on deaf ears.
However, they do have at least lockers to try and go for a plant. Uncertain if this is going to work out. Here comes the cross from Shaiko. They hear it coming from a mile away, but the shots from W7M are just missing left and right now. Another opportunity lost. Filippo able to recover things a little bit once more as he catches Lycofac, I believe, rotating through the vault or coming from upstairs. Nade also trying to catch a player on the top of the server's vault and will indeed get that. Alems goes down. We're on even numbers. It's a very odd round for multiple reasons right now, but W7M seems to be rounding it back into their corner from the looks of things. This position from Renshiro, however, inside of small, could flip it right back into the hands of the French roster from BDS.
Oh, here we go. Minute left. They can do everything with these drones right now. They know where Shaiko is, but they really need to confirm that the other player is not on site. If they're able to at least get things in Gold Vault and like office area, they know that Renshiro is more than likely not in this area and that they have to be aware of his positioning in other places. But I think they might have oversaw this, John. Indeed, Renshiro, he slips through the cracks, but Felipox, a triple kill for him. Bomb in hand and the time to plant. What is Renshiro's action? He's going to drop in. Oh, this plant stick from... No! Felipox, he had it! He's going to have to stick it again, and Renshiro's already downstairs. He's got the nitro, so he can play the soft wall on the outside. This is so dangerous right now. He got it down. Oh my goodness gracious. Somebody just make the right action. Like, what do I even say? Like, just do anything correct. BDS. Somebody, anybody. Philippe has gotten the bomb down. Renshiro's got the cross angle and the opportunity. Here it is. Back and forth on the brick wall. In we go. Renshiro low HP. No nitro, so obviously he burned that earlier. Works his way in on the office door side, rather.
10
seconds.
Gosh,
round and round we go, John. He kicks it back and right into the spray pattern. He's taken down from the pre-fire. W7M keeping it close. Renshiro, just really no clutch gene in that moment either. Did not want to try and step up. Even when Philippe ended up getting off that case, that was just such an awkward moment.
Yeah. With the exception of the last play there, Felipe did a great job playing that up until the final few moments, but aside from that, that was just such an awkward round from so many different perspectives. The round constantly turning itself one way or another because of a missed shot opportunity or two here, but like I said again, Felipe was the shining star that made up the main difference here and allowed for W7M to not only stay in the round with a fighting chance, we saw him pick up so many kills throughout the course of it, but then to finally clutch it out inside of the 1v1 as well. They're beautiful stuff from him. As indeed, I think ends up with a quad kill here at the end of the round.
Fantastic stuff here from W7M. Get things going on bank. A very interesting round, especially with how that opened up. It really didn't seem as though W7M was going to have anything left in the tank to try and get it downstairs. And that's why it was just such an awkward moment when it came down to the nitty-gritty details inside of that 1 versus 1. Just very awkward situation in between the two. KZ. Renshiro goes searching on the window, and, well, he does find something, doesn't he?
It's going to be a player trying to deploy, as you can see there. You can see a few shots going into that very far right side window. It's more than likely where those shots come through, and Renshiro unfortunately gets down from. So a solid start to the round here on number 2 for W7M. Not going to be any immediate response coming in from anybody on BDS, and it doesn't look like we're going to see anyone try to go for it either necessarily. Still some road game to be played out, of course, here on open area. Kind of goes without saying, just given the nature of the site. If you try to play this one with all 5 in the site, I bet you good money it's probably not going to go very well. But even with the outstretched positioning here from BDS...
I was just about to say, I was like, this is the worst time to reference
it. Does not seem like it's working anyway. Now they're down 2 here, and still only with that little bit of damage traded onto KZ to start us off.
Yeah, W7M are showing us what we saw in round 1 of Chalet, where they just eviscerated BDS on their rotations from that top floor. And yet again, different map, same details. W7M with 2 big picks. KZ the only one with any damage on him, and all they've given up, John, 4 drones. That's it.
Much more solid start to things here. Up to a very bumpy beginning to the road.
Okay. Sledge, I want to know how you get that much leverage on that position to actually smack that floor.
Just don't ask the physics department how that
oh, we would just topple over off that table.
I think he got a concussion for doing that in reality. His head just slams into the floor as he does that. They are going to try and look for this player down below, however.
Mozzie
onto that right now.
Oh,
Shaiko! Shaiko realizes it. He gets the better of KZ, trading out his opener from earlier on. Still going to be down a player, unfortunately, but obviously much more palatable here, especially if Lycofact finds the timing to swing for a move on main stairs there and potentially catch the players holding stock. It's going to very quickly reverse the fate of BDS and put them right back into the money for this round.
Does he know? Does he know? I don't think he knows. Does he know? Oh, Shaiko knows. Huge nitro sell out of him, and they've let Shaiko do what he does best. Bring something into this round, make it difficult for his opponents. This is winnable for BDS, even though they are down to just this lone man rotation out. They know where he is, though. That's going to make the fight a little bit more difficult. They did have a chance there if that initial engagement went well, because that rotation on the back end definitely needed that assist, but W7M, they're just too dang good when it comes down to moments like this, and it's going to be 2 rounds in a row, and again here, for their maps, since they're starting off on the right foot.
Nice heads-up play there from JV92. Knew they needed to take care of Shaiko. He's getting away with far too much from that open area position there. So finally deployed himself back into the small office, and JV92 just decided to drop down the hatch before he could get too safe and finish him off, because they already knew he was somewhat.
No
There's
way.
the opener as well. KZ, just a double tap to take care of his opponent. Nade also getting a lens. We missed that one from up on top. It was Shaiko, like we said before, that was the real problem maker here for BDS. Getting away, that was a beautiful one. Nicely
Dude, Nade
done.
had full HP on that. What is that spread luck?
That's crazy that ended up getting the full kill, but of course he's going to take that to the bank every single day if it's given to him. but unfortunately it could not make up enough of a difference with the rest of his teammates feeling to perform there.
You know, we had Oppenheimer live right here. That's crazy. You just threw a nuke at him. My God. I actually cannot believe Nate died there.
Yeah, that is pretty insane. Now that we saw that, I thought for sure it was just a usual like stick it to the ceiling and ended up getting him there. But no, like you said, that was like a mid-air kill on it. So bit of luck going the way of Shaiko to make that one happen, but all good.
That's something that would only happen to Shaiko.
I think it worked because I think the floor was already breached, so it probably just went through because of that.
Well, it's not only that, like that honestly at the end of the day really doesn't matter. What matters is that the randomness of the shrapnel from the explosives in the game. So nukes are also
again crazy. That's 2 in a row now.
What?
This one even that had to be.
Where did you?
No, it was right in front of him. Look, yeah.
He just flew right through copy, and no one was aware of anything. He just shot the guy on rotation in small offense. Oh, guys. Oh, BDS.
That's crazy that KZ got that much control early on. He just went right in through copy, as you said. Just,
especially for BDS.
Fair, like Renshiro's there to challenge him, but it just happens so fast that he falters to it, unfortunately. And now I believe he's just sitting back in the corner there in open office and waiting to see if Lycofac or anyone else is going to rotate into that one.
So yeah, I know you don't want it.
Yeah,
come over my neck of the woods, see what happens. Bang, 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 everybody gonna die. We like to have fun here, folks. And so does W7M, as we're going to be flying into the windows here more than likely pretty soon. The Candela's out, the smoke's just to break up the line of sight. They're going to plant directly on the window so the glass can overwatch it. No nitro cells in anybody's hands except Alem's, but he's nowhere near close enough to try and prevent this from going down. But actually, Nade, he's going to cancel that. He's going to move things off. The glass actually ends up getting taken out. Sleepawks will die on that window, so that was the little bit of tidbit of information that we did not receive there. At least I didn't. So we playing off those windows, but this is going to at least stagnate the round for now. And he's going to need some pretty serious help here. Oh, KZ. Up the hatch we go. Alternative angle here, John.
And Herd's just swinging right in. Bride none the wiser to it as well. A second angle, give it over, but this time Alems gets the better of it, but immediately KZ finds a separate exchange kill, and he rotates back in to take care of the last threat in Alems as well. Once more, bit of a bumpy ride in the site, but W7M still, for the large majority of that round, in control of the situation, and they give themselves a 3-0 lead for the second map in a row now.
Man. This is just such incredible play from W7M. They never overplay their hand, man. It never happens.
They just have such clean attacks.
Dude, it reminds me of just like those top tier RTS players where just everything is just absolutely perfect that's happening on the map. It's just disgusting from W7M. Like, yeah, they're able to pick this up. Nice kill from Bride there. That's why we didn't see it. It was a little smoke frag there. But, I mean, W7M are able to recoup so quickly. And you saw the patience from Nate. He doesn't force anything. He holds his angles, uses a little bit more of his utility to try and bide some time for his teammates, try and wrap around, rotate, get themselves positioned as to what they want to do. And once the team is ready, that's when they strike. And again, like the conversation that has to be going on for this team to be accomplishing this time and time again cannot be understated, guys. This is one of the best teams in the world right now.
Amazing coordination from W7M on the attacks here so far, and it is showing in the scoreline. Like you said, 2 3-0 leads in a row here, going on Chalet, and now onto Bank as well. Does not seem like it's going to show much of a sign of slowing down. Important difference this time, BDS felt the rounds were close enough to where they did not need to go for a tactical timeout like they did on the first map here, even though they've once again gone through their full rotation. This would normally be the times this team would call for a tac timeout just to get the kind of initial input from their coach anyway, but they don't want to waste it this early on, seeing as they also struggled with their attacks to some extent too, so maybe wanting to save that for a more dire situation later in this map. Regardless, though, they do still rotate back to the expected site here on the inside of the basement. This was obviously a very sloppy round last time from both teams, really. It was, just, like I said before, it was really Felipe, that saved the day and multiple times on that round. So not going to necessarily be able to rely on that 2 times in a row. Let's see how W7M look kind of patch things up a bit better.
Yeah, I was a little too jet-lagged to take that one seriously at the end of that round. That got a little too raunchy for me. Things were just going back and forth in such awkward ways. Oh, man. But
it kind of was going to get sloppy, though, given the fact that W7M just went directly for an elevator hatch drop like 30 seconds into the round. So that was kind of, they more than likely knew that that was going to be the way it played out. This time,
we had an inkling early that things were going to be messy, right?
It's going to be a little bit different this time. We know this already. Nate's bringing the Montaigne into play. They're going for a slow clear on server. This should be much more traditional so far.
Renshiro's got the rook out as well. It's not something that we see too often. He is going to at least guarantee that everybody gets downed in this round. believe they'll be able to pick themselves back up as well, if I'm remembering that correctly. So a little bit of a change up there for that, as well as a change up for these rounds that we've been seeing so far. CYCLOPS the first one to get a big kill, and it's on to one of the most impactful operators across the board that W7M had access to. It's going to be the Yank. So those flashes will no longer be at their disposal.
Yeah, huge early pick to be able to knock out the Candles this early on as well. No one really with anything else to make up for that. They just have the 3 flashes sitting on KZ, which are KZ, yeah, they're just going to not really make up the difference. He needs to save those to burn out ADSs and whatnot inside of the site. The laser gates as well that have been brought out by BDS. So we'll really use those for their initially intended purpose. Let's see how it works. Thankfully, still having hard breach in the pocket of Nade. They'll be able to open up that first angle, but they'll lose another player in the process. CYCLOPS finally being the first player on W7M once again here on the basement attack to trade things out as he finds Shaiko. Locking him down for this round, but still down a player overall, and not really a lot of confidence to make this plant play from server just yet. They're going to go for it soon, though. As you can see, Nade opening up the plant hole now. Hopefully no nitros as well to come in from the defense, but there is another obstacle here, and that little ADS will sit in the way. Nade will just burn his drone, though, in order to get rid of it quickly here. And hopefully allow for him to plant, but as you can see, there's another obstacle. We do have that camera on the wall. I think it was just knocked out by the Gun 6, so hopefully denying the vision. They're more than likely expecting there to be a nitro or two on this team, so that may explain some of the hesitation right now, but as far as I'm concerned, they're probably good to go for this at any point here. CYCLOPS especially getting the second entry.
No
Overwatch on the garage.
They have 2 bulletproofs too.
Yeah, he's going to walk right up, get a second kill for free. Now they've got a pinch. No one can really hold the far edge of Red Hall or the site doorway. Again, Nade has everything he needs to go for the plant. And with KZ also flank watching for him, I see no reason to delay this any further on the side of W7M.
KZ has to play downstairs or take control of this top hatch. Alemza is going to be up top. They now know the positioning and understand it. EFAC can't fit in through that hole. The Monty going to start pushing it back. KZ with a huge win upstairs. They now have the hatch control. And this is going to be a problem for EFAC as well. Actually, that one is indeed sealed. He's going to drop in the back end, but it's going to be a big trade here. EFAC pre-fires down. CYCLOPS doesn't have the case, as that's going to be over inside of the server base. EFAC will rotate around here, a massive rotation, but he's calling it on the ball, John. This is something that you want to see out of your players. Just make the play, man. If that's what you feel like, that's what you must do. He's going to go for the drop now. He knows that he's got to be planning inside of server. Very minimal time, and EFAC, he gets it done on the rotation. A triple kill for him and BDS with their first round.
Beautiful stuff once again there. Again, like we saw in round 1, CYCLOPS having to try and be the hero there. Rest of the team just not able to pick up the slack here when it comes to those basement attacks. And unfortunately, that will finally cost them a round. Same scoreline. We're in for a big repeat of what we saw back on Chalet right now, as we've got that same 3-1 scoreline repeating itself. CYCLOPS, as we can see, are getting away with a lot inside of the early round 2. That's such as that free pick hop out from the inside of Copier. And Shiro, a nice angle there to finally counter out some of the aggression from Garage. But it was, again, the lack of a follow-through on that, because they got that first pickup in Garage. That kind of explains why there wasn't a whole lot of Overwatch there later in the round, because they already killed someone from that side, thought they would dare to send a second player. That's what allowed CYCLOPS back in, but unfortunately just couldn't bring the clutch to bear for a second time.
Unlucky circumstances, the way you cut it. For both of these teams, honestly. BDS with some fantastic plays to be able to elongate that round, keep themselves alive, make that moment magical there for EFAC. He's able to pick that up. Have a big change up here for BDS as well, as they'll work the Vigil back in. We saw this utilized yesterday on their bank play as well, but a heck of a different strategy when it came to their operator lineup. Vigil's the only one coming to bear from what we saw previously, where they were running a Mute as well as a Solus that are practically just the ragtag trio when it comes to trying to deny information and just be a nuisance around the map. And that's what EFAC will be looking to do, is he's currently positioned himself in the top square.
A little confidence boost coming the way of BDS by finally closing down on that round, but they still have to deal with the reality of these other sites still being very much under the control of W7M as far as the first run is concerned here. That said, though, hopefully that confidence boost when he comes out on the basement is going to give them enough of a push forward here to fight just a little bit more strongly on these offsites as well. Locking rounds 2 and maybe even 3 for the total tie at halftime. W7M taking things a little bit more slowly on the approach this time, trying to see if they can get cheeky with their angle and repel work to catch any rotations from BDS, but not looking likely based on the initial clear. Hertz has already taken stop control. Here we go, though, nice. Over on the main stairs. EFAC thought he could get away with a drop down on the banister, but it does not work out. Hertz takes him down before he fades away. That'll be a clean opener coming in from our attackers.
Kind of surprised that drone's still alive next to that breaching charge, but a little off subject, but that's
explosions haven't really working the way we thought they would so far this round.
Oh, man.
I mean, that nitro cell in round 2.
gonna say CYCLOPS is putting some extra powder in those things or something. I don't know, man.
Oh
my God! No one is covering the
They thought it was safe. A huge blunder from W7M. And now they're on the losing end of this round so far. Thankfully, they've got quite a few heroes here that could save the day, and we're looking at one of them right now. Leapox may have to go huge yet again. Him, JV92 or Nade. One of the three of them have to come out here, hopefully with a double kill or better. BDS now with the player count advantage due to that great play from Shaiko. They have retaken the top stock control. Shaiko did not stick around to cause even further problems, thankfully, for W7M, but still, the player deficit may very well just be enough for BDS to lock this one in now.
Yeah, this is the most detrimental round I've seen from W7M throughout this series so far. That error cannot be overstated. That was just something very critical to W7M's entire round and the future of round 5 and their success in it. So now BDS, a little bit of punishment here. Lems will end up getting taken down by JV92's Selma charge, because why the hell not?
Really, obviously, got down a lot earlier than that, but
indeed,
you guys saw that, the spray coming through the hatches, the Selma got the last bit of damage. Either way, Shaiko now hit heavily. Bride does have one of the players on W7M blinded up. That's more likely to be Nade going down, but Leapox again there to trade it down. Renshiro maintains control for the Frenchies, however. Knocks out JV92, just Leapox now in the 1v2, and unfortunately locked out of sight. Good shots going on to Renshiro, but can't lock in the kill. Renshiro seals the deal on one final frag for BDS to lock in round number 2. One round away from the tie now as we go into round number 6.
Well, it was looking very scary for BDS at the start of Bank, but finally able to bring things back into the light and a potential to tie things up on their defensive end. W7M obviously can split at 4-2, but that's pretty traditional here for Bank. And once again, this play from Shaiko. You just wonder where the info game is, where anybody's cover for E2 is. It's just very surprising that W7M let that slip through the cracks.
More mistakes being made, and BDS finally able to capitalize on those mistakes, those holes in the defense as well. Lends credence them getting back into the series here. Eventually pushing us to that map 3. 3-3 overall halftime scoreline. Very much in the cards if they can lock in one final hold here, which is actually going to go to Archives. They played second floor last time, did not work out too well. W7M took control of the site far too quickly, so they're going to instead once again try to rely on the extra extensions that the Archives hold downstairs is going to allow them to kind of extend this round timer out naturally here. W7M with an interesting pickup here as they are going to bring both the OSA as well as the Sense into play here. This is more likely going to be a very pre-decided execute that they'll try to line up for.
Well, last time we had Sense, it didn't make sense. Got to toss that light screen in and immediately got shot in their face.
Well, the bigger problem there was they never had library control. I think if they had library control, that round would...
Are you telling me that you should probably have vertical control on Game Bar? On Chalet?
They kind of were just like, all right, we got to do something.
John, you should start coaching, man. That was sarcasm, folks. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay?
JV's quickly going to open up the main elevator hallway upstairs just to give him the angle to the inside. Once again, limit those rotations from the defense. Not playing too heavily into that, so probably not going to yield a whole lot this early on here from W7M. Lems is keeping a watch out for those repel points, though, making sure he's giving himself the best chance to catch any of these players if they try to spring forward. It's going to be Herds, though, once again, leading the charge. The timing just a little bit off for him. Unfortunately, stuck around for their second or two. Good chance he might have gotten a peek from that player top main. Does not end up working out. Lems is being annoying as he can be here with these Kivas, just trying to block out any of the drone presence. The nades work their way through, and Lems does get down by KZ, I believe, on that repel. Herds now bursting through into meeting as well. This player here, but this time, Lykenback played that position, that same exact position, actually, a few rounds back, I think from the first floor, and unfortunately died that time, but is able to make up for it here on his second attempt. Able to use that fallback position much more proficiently on the second go-around.
Man, everybody's just reviewing the Dirk fade, man. Everybody hitting their NBA shots, it seems, over these last couple days. It's the second fade that we've seen in 2 days, so very well done. What a position to do that off of as well. I saw him go for it earlier, like you were discussing. He went for the exact same thing, tried to get the
he got pushed from stock last time, though, so it didn't work as well.
Yeah, he got caught during the drop, too, which is super unfortunate. But either way, it works this time. Equalizes the man count. Huge Nitro cell, and I mean, now it goes rather impact, actually. I was going to say, it didn't deal nearly as much damage as I thought it would have. Shaiko take quite a bit of damage back onto himself. Pistol out, KZ trying to influence this as much as possible, but Shaiko still has bullets in his SMG. He'll shoot back.
And he's still shooting as he finds a second kill out of that scenario as well. Philippak's the next to go down here. W7M suddenly looking a little bit worse for wear on this attacking side when they were second to none, at least back in the first map and for the beginning rounds of this second map as well. JV92 tries to make up for it, but can only go 1-for-1 as the immediate refrag comes in from Insurance. Beepers. Nate is all that remains here at full HP. Might be able to get away with 1 or 2 here, and very well could get away with a plant as well. The angle's not going to work out from those. The pitch comes in from the main stairs, and by extension, Archives there. Shaiko claims 1 more kill for, I believe, 3 total on the round. And indeed, locking in a 3-3 scoreline also. Excellent rebound by BDS. They've officially tied up. Let's see if they can take the lead for the first time in this series.
What a defensive half from BDS. A massive bounce back from them. As W7M, it seemed like everything was just par for the course. They were simply walking through Bank and walking through BDS, but ever since we saw BDS gather that very first round, it seems like they've finally awoken a fire inside of themselves, especially after that big play from Shaiko, where we saw him get a triple kill, I do believe, on the last round as well, past this one. So it's big stuff for him. BDS overall, Shaiko really making the most out of that defensive half. Still cannot get over that flank, especially on the top floor. But we'll cross that bridge later on when we look at the highlight reel. Now we're into round 7. We're going to switch sides. W7M on the defense, and they're going to choose the basement.
I swear W7M was struggling a little bit back on Chalet. The defensive rounds nowhere near the strength that we saw out of the attacking side. So BDS very much still in this map, and as well in this series here with them having completed the time before we even hit that switch now. See if W7M's going to feel a little bit better with their defensive holds. Thankfully, as we go to a map where the defensive side does get that extra strength to build up here, especially on this site here for basement. This might give them a little bit of an extra boost here to at least start off the half. Very heavy on the delay comp, though, as we have both the Goyo canisters going onto the walls by server on top of KZ still playing into the smoke here. Zero is going to come out for the first time in this series as well here. We'd seen him get banned out previously when BDS had to go over towards this map and play into one similar to this one because they didn't want Oxygen getting their handle on this very same operator. This time they're going to take the mantle. Use him a little bit here to try to get some extra intel about what's going on towards the main lobby. They know that W7M likes to play out and about, even on this basement site. And they want to avoid any pitfalls of that early on here. As you can see, 2 out of 4 of those sand cams being used in the opening moments. Philippak's, though, beautiful timing on his Nitro, chucks it at a J, and says an early bye-bye to Shaiko before he can make his impact on this round.
Got his back in blood. There it is. Nitrocell earlier taking out one of W7M's key members, and this time around they'll explode Shaiko, which has been by far and away the best player that we've seen on BDS here today. Which is honestly incredible to say because Brede yesterday was playing lights out, man. I really appreciated everything we saw out of him. EFAC as well. Alim's not really lighting the world on fire, but really didn't need to. EFAC, though, he gets bodied by W7M. An impact out from Nade. We got soft destruction too, folks. It comes to this defensive side.
A little bit too much time spent in that position, unfortunately, for EFAC. He has to back away from it. Unfortunately, does not do so, prompting for W7M to quickly collapse on that position and overwhelm him with, I believe, 3 players trying to pursue his death at some point during that fight. No way he's able to survive it, unfortunately, in that central position on the map, so he does get bled out. And another one took it down here as well.
Oh my.
All right, well, the good news is we have that other feed, folks, and we should be able to switch over to it in just a moment here, so give us a second. The site fight has not really begun yet. We can see BDS still trying to work themselves up to it, but they're also in a 1v5.
Yeah,
it's Brede versus the world right now, so not a very interesting round
1v4
for you guys to lose the feed on you. You're going to see it right here. Brede picks up 1 more, but ultimately Philippak is right around the corner to trade that one back out.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. A Goyo canister really killed somebody on entry, and that was the entire round.
Round was pretty much over by the time we cut out of it. Anyway, you saw the last real impactful kill before we unfortunately got glitched out of game. Give us a second and we should be able to jump right back in. We'll resume the game as usual, of course. The W7M now back in control of the lead, but obviously, again, only by that 1 round right now, so a very delicate lead for the time being.
That entire round just reminded me of when Percy Jackson went in the labyrinth and everything's just like all the walls are moving and everything.
That's a reference.
Yeah, there you go, right? A little deep cut there for you.
I know.
Great books, by the way, if you guys haven't read those. Kind of, you know, it's a teen/child series, but it's fantastic, man. Definitely one that I still need to reread again. But yeah, I mean, you can just see.
I think the movies are Disney Plus.
They're about to remake the movies as well, actually, funny enough. But you can
just make them?
They made them like 10 years ago, but they were trash, remember? They were really, really bad. But that's besides the point. What I was getting at is that W7M are constantly manipulating the map mid-round and making it to where things are completely different than what BDS thought initially, and that makes things extremely difficult. Perfect case in point, right? Tellers, with the position there from Azami on Marble Stairs. That's just one thing that you're never really going to calculate in your head until you hear an explosion to your right side, and then you're dead. Yep. So it's just one of those things where W7M are playing chess, and BDS were playing a little bit of checkers in that first round.
That's the problem as well with BDS having these very like solo-centric entries that they were going for, like back very much off on an island.
It works for Shaiko, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
every single time.
That's Shaiko, right? Yeah.
Shit,
only certain players really are able to properly work that kind of solo playstyle, in my opinion. It's a very short list that can do it. Not exactly.
And he's right at the top.
yeah, Shaiko's right at the top. I'd say like Laxing was another one.
Oh yeah, I'd probably say Laxing is probably second, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't even really think of another person that is just like, you just send him in, you're like, yeah,
just like you just trust them basically to like do it the proper thing.
I'm on jet lag brain, but that's really all I got right now.
Away from that though, W7M still looking good here with that most recent round falling under their control. BDS is going to try to change things up a little bit. Like Fact is going to bring back the Nook here as well. So we'll see even with the recent changes that was made to Nook if it's going to be still effective, as I think we saw this played into a few other series as well yesterday. So certainly not dropping the pick rate on this operator too much just yet, but we're going to be paying close attention to that, obviously with the big changes that just came in.
Well, the Nook's going to work her way back in. Ever since that nerf, we haven't been seeing her nearly as much, John. She still is able to avoid the cameras, but she is 100% audible now, which honestly, pretty crazy change in my mind. I'm surprised that they didn't just like cut her audio, you know, up by half or something like that and make it to where it was just a little bit more easy to hear. That's besides the point. She's still definitely potent character. She has frag grenades, and if you guys have watched any of our B-roll content here at all, you'll know that really all you need on a character on offense is frag grenades, and we will play them. That's really it. Frag grenades are the best offensive piece of utility in the entire game because it makes it to where you can get rid of a lot of utility, dislodge somebody, kill somebody.
It's an insta-kill without actually having to peek your opponent. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty straightforward about why that's so useful in Siege. Right now, like Facto, focusing on trying to knock out the utility with those nades. I think he missed the first one. I think I saw a slight jolt of electricity coming from.
It's an electric claw, so they're probably going to be up towards the ceiling as well, which might make things a little bit more difficult and hurts. Ooh, nade there.
Anyway, though, stock wall now being open.
Impact?
Keep an overwatch for that. Nope, does not go through. It does stop the second breach, though, after the first one implodes. So they're at least going to be able to prevent that. But the angle work is what was important there. Once they get the first one open, that's the goal achieved. Now, Lems and Renshiro strike true to knock out KZ and Hertz from the defense. 3v5 already enabled. Philippux at low HP as well from an earlier fight he got involved in. Is going to try to sneak forward here. It seems they've got some Breed. No! Oh, there we go. Finds the head, but can't get out of there quickly enough. Breed is available for the trade. Shaiko did get downed, although no confirmation coming in just yet. He may very well be able to back up and revive himself. JV92.
We go again.
He's going to get caught here if he tries to peek this. They're watching it. You can see the silhouette at the other end of it. And there you go. Breed shutting it down for his second kill on the round. Nade is all that remains now against what's probably going to be a 1v4, as there's nothing stopping Shaiko from getting revived, and they don't even need him. Like Fact shuts us down yet again, and it's BDS to tie us up for a second time now at 4-4.
BDS slowly coiling around the site, not overplaying their hands, not dedicating themselves too harshly to something to where W7M can get those extremely impactful kills, and they're able to tie things up here. Yet again, now for BDS, the opportunity has finally arisen, John. They have a chance to take the lead. Had it on the first round, but it's not the case. Now yet again, an opportunity. Could be a big moment for them as well. It's something that they desperately need. What a kill coming out that window.
Just got slammed there.
Yeah, practically instantaneously. His body didn't even leave the window. It just sat in the window.
Saw that one coming from a mile away from the rappel there. So not the best run out, unfortunately, from Hertz. He has had success earlier in the series with those, and I think earlier in this map too. So he does have some credence to try going for that. Just probably going to think twice about it next time, given the way that one went. Either way, though, like I said before, tie game. Now BDS back into this one. Going to change up a few things with their lineup as they work into it. W7M is going to the open area hold here, and they've spotted a few things, which is going to prompt a couple exchanges from them. The Buck being swapped in. instead of a hard breach here, since obviously we're on opener, you don't really need the hard breach all that much going into this one. The secondary on Brede is going to be more than enough. You need to open up like that big wall panel right there.
Especially for the hatch, they usually place that upstairs because you're really looking to try and...
soft anyway, so the Buck can take care of that.
And it looks like they're going to be breaking up a lot of this top floor and probably just holding that down. Might be a rotation because they have the mirror there, so they can just play the mirror in towards the janitor closet, keep the other panel open there. We'll just have to see because there's also some risk involved in that as well with some of the angles that can be played towards the soft wall.
To open up the top here. More likely not going to see any fall.
Did he put it on the other side? I think he did, didn't he?
What's up?
I think he did put that mirror on the other side there for janitor, but we're going to have to see from the opposite. Yep, he did indeed. So he's going to have to worry a little bit about his back end and that left paneling there for the soft. But, I mean, it's still a very, hallmark strategy that we see pretty often with Mira, whether it be in pro play or casual play. She's always a very solid spot, or rather solid pick for this spot.
One's bringing the Brava back as well. This should have been the last piece of utility that would have stopped him from trying to go for at least a little bit of copier control. Another one here as well. That's 2 of them gone now.
And we didn't even see the first portion of that. He might have got all 3.
Yeah. Very, very true. Looking at it, though, it looks like he survived with the other 3. Just looking at the utility mark there, but okay. 2 kills coming in as we see an attempt to push in through E. And team kill, though, flips it back the other direction. Like, in fact, sneaks in over here through Beepers as well, but thankfully there's a rotate to save the day from KZ. Felipox picked up the next one on a lamb. Shaiko as well, getting peppered through the wall. He'll take a headshot before he goes down, though. That's if he's going to go down here. The 1v3 set against him. You got to throw that nade soon. Oh! The timing onto Felipox finishes him up. We've got another player low. This could bang in the right direction. No, won't make the impact this time around, but Herds, I believe, is the player downstairs, is going to be incredibly low, and indeed, that's the case. Herds wraps away from this one, goes for the main stairs rotate. Nade may need to drop down and stop this plant. Shaiko will get away with it at the minimum here. Now the clutch comes through. However, the first down is there. Shaiko, does he give us the 1v4 clutch? So close on this angle. Nade needs to shut it down. He's got a lot of time to work it, so he does not need to force himself into this peak just yet, but Shaiko has now changed position, reveals himself, but cannot lock in that headshot, unfortunately. Kiva barricades to block Shaiko off of all things in the peak. No! The clutch will be denied by Nade, and W7M just barely survived that round to take the lead back again.
Oh my gosh, dude, I felt like a machine there. I was like, I'm starting to get nervous. Like, oh my gosh. Whew. What a round out of Shaiko. And although he looks defeated, I mean, my God, man, what a talent.
It was so close there.
Disgusting.
Couldn't land that last headshot.
Hilarious thing, too, he wins that round if he banks the nade off the door instead of tossing it for the far side there in small office. That blows Mira sky high and that round's over.
Yep.
It's always down to those tiny little details, man. And that's not even on Shaiko. You have to get that's some guesswork, right? Exactly. So just wow, dude. What a round.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that shotgun play there as well that we brought in.
Oh yeah, he brought the express, baby. Oh, dude. Felipox, 15-5, by the way.
Yeah, he's been playing huge, like I said before. He was like kind of the hero on some of those
15-6, my bad.
the hero on some of those basement rounds, and now he's picking up some huge prowess when it comes to the entry game, as well as kind of the trade game here on these attack, or rather these defensive sites as well. So let's get W7M in control of the situation, but just barely with that 1-round lead. BDS has been responding to these every single time so far. A little more difficult potentially on this one. So we now rotate back to basement. The previous attempt here was locked in by W7M. So a possible 6-4 is coming up here if you don't see a change up from BDS to win it.
That's just like one of those things where it's like, Shaiko's not the boogeyman. Shaiko's who you send to kill the boogeyman.
The Baba Yaga.
Exactly, dude. The Baba Yaga. I watched John Wick 3 on the plane. Oh, and speaking of John Wick, he's pretty good with shotties too. KZ will put that one on display. Nobody on the other end of that either. Yeah, Brede does not want this smoke. Literally.
Brede can't. I mean, what is this distraction with the Twitch drone right now?
You've had to send it to the wolves.
Yeah, don't think he expected to run into him there, but at the end of the day, yeah, you can't really have Brede push that angle anyway, realistically, because he's got case control and he's by himself. So if he goes down on the peak, then that's almost the end of the round right there, because at that point you could just kind of gladiator out for the case control. That defensive player more than likely is going to win the majority of those duels inside of the tunnel.
Well, that's all their soft destruction gone, and half their nades, so that's not fun. They do have thermite. It's the one breach that they do have, but they have to be very selective with the way that they go about this. What hatches do they want? What control do they go for? You can see LM's trying to work garage right now. BDS trying to recoup some information after getting punished so easily inside of tunnel, which is surprising because that's usually something that BDS would be very aware of walking into a situation like that, but clearly not.
making sure he does not get collapsed upon, but he's got to worry about other things, such as that nade to the face. CYCLOPS, once again, making his mark in the early round. He finds the first kill of the round for his team. The Lems gets a quick second, and now it's BDS in control as he successfully works out JB92. Had to work a while for it, but got the job done, and now has a position crossing onto the inside of Garage. Impact, though, quickly sends that back down the river. However, just as quickly, Lems pops out another shield and reaffirms that position. We did see another kill, of course, on the feed pop up in the favor of W7M while all this was going on, so we're back down to the even 3v3. Lems trying to push it back into the favor of BDS, but W7M very obviously realizing that that cross has been established. Do not want to test the waters when they have potential aggression also coming in at the same exact time from server.
Well, W7M, they have been called out by BDS, specifically Lems. They know there's two on the backside. They just have to identify this last player. I believe that's going to be the Mira. FleetPox directly under the hatch. Has the Nitro Cell to try and play prevention, but BDS gets gunned down. He goes for the wide swing, and now two players down. It's one lone soul remaining, and FleetPox and Nade will wrap it up with a bow to bring us on to 6-4 and map and match point, John. I almost said Derry, but he's not here. It's Demo. I always do that because his first name is Harry, right? And then it's Demo as his tag. I'm terrible with names, man. But either way, Demo was telling me that he doesn't think that W7M is going to drop a map this entire tournament. And so far, so freaking good, man.
A little close on a few of these here. As we've seen BDS certainly bounce back a bit more, but the story arc is still very much W7M being in control of the overarching series, especially with that first half being played out over on Chalet with a 5-1 advantage going their way. Didn't really seem like there was much that could stop them. BDS has evolved over the course of the series and has found much better counters to some of the aggression and just the overall play style from W7M, but it's not enough, it seems here. However, it's also not done yet for them. We've been seeing some great prowess come in, specifically from CYCLOPS and a few of the other members of the team as well. So they can lock in these next two. Obviously, overtime and that map 3 still may be in the cards. Let's see if they can get it done, though, as W7M now head to the opposite side, upstairs, for potentially their final round.
BDS are going to put their hands in the dirt and see if they can erect a monument here. Monument to Monty as well. As BDS will be bringing out his tried and true. Something we see them lean on every once in a while when they need it most. This is definitely one of those times. W7M is looking to take out BDS in 2-0 fashion. Truly disgusting stuff. I mean, who's going to stop him? M80? I mean, like, this is just unprecedented.
Certainly looking good for the W7M fans at home here as they look to two major events in a row in the CT ecosystem here, just claiming, for those who aren't already aware, of course, the Copenhagen Major just about 2 to 3 months ago. Now on the warpath to try and claim the lion's share of the prize pool here as well in Riyadh. Away from that, though, still need to lock in that final round, and it's a much more cautious approach to things for BDS in the first 45 seconds of this round. CYCLOPS tries to go for an opening nade kill again. May have just been some utility knockout down below as well there. He was going for that frostbat. Unfortunately, was unsuccessful in that, but I think there was a few other things below it too. It was more heavily targeting that scenario.
Slow beginnings here for BDS, but why wouldn't it be? A lot of potential for W7M. Nade out, be instant. Saw you flinch there, you were going to blow up.
I was about to say, I was blinking real fast. Like, in fact, does have himself locked into a bit of a duel against KZ right now. Either player really wants to take it, however, it's definitely more so KZ running.
Oh my god, he almost timed him on that.
So close. This nade could be money. There we go.
Cash.
The lineup's there. No, a surprisingly small amount of damage on the Herds there, in fact. So a little bit off the angle. Might have been a wall or something that saves Herds up above. Either way, he's okay for the time being here. And like, in fact, does have that second nade, although I don't believe he wants to chuck it away. The intel that allowed him to throw the first one might be gone. Okay, here we go. Oh, and there we go. That one's going to sing as FleetPox goes down to the second nade.
Well, one more grenade, actually two rather. CYCLOPS has one and so does Lin. CYCLOPS jumps in. CYCLOPS is downed as they were seemingly ready for this kind of play. Renshiro's going to take a bit of damage. Renshiro, though, good for at least one and make it a 4 versus 3. Lems will continue to hold onto the windows. They've been able to at least set up the crossfires here, but that doesn't mean that W7M can't battle back. The Monty's there, but it's only a distraction for EFAC directly behind him. JB92 still down low. No real way to try and dislodge Monty from doing too much, minus shooting him. JB92 on the rotation, but BDS are going to cover. It's going to be up to Nade to try and win this out. A triple kill for EFAC already inside of this round. The ump in his hand, the worst gun in the game, as some would say. So he's going to swing into this with the 1.5.
Post plant with a Monty, not looking good for Nade right now inside of this 1v3. More than likely going to push us on around 12 in just a few moments, but we'll see what Nade can give us. Might be a surprise if he can work himself into a winnable position here, but it seems like BDS are not taking any chances at all. There's a player already on outside repel as well. There might be the Monty in that position, but either way, as you can see here, Nade has to go on a massive rotation just to be able to even get a fight against some of these players. The Monty is back on the site, and there we go. That's enough of a distraction for Like Fact to push back into top square and shut down the round. It'll close out. And will push us one more round closer to a potential overtime as BDS is one away from it.
Practically the perfect time to break out the Monty, as there really wasn't anything from W7M that was going to be overly influential to trying to slow him down. I do think that they had a Legion, I do believe, that could have provided a little bit of trouble, but at the end of the day, they did such a good job of opening things up and making it to where Riyadh's path forward was all but a walk in the park. So well done from them, especially on a lot of these nade plays that made life a little bit more difficult for W7M. I mean, they're all playing extremely well, but one of these things is not like the other, and it's Philippox with 18 and 7.
It's like a heroic performance coming out from him so far in this game, and we're not done just yet. Still a potential third map in the cards here. BDS
20 in regulation, which is just, that's disgusting, dude. That's over 2 kills a round.
Absolutely the case. Sitting at like a 2.3 or 2.4 KD right now, I think. This is really solid stuff from Philippox so far over the course of this series. Like you said, still early days in this tournament. Become a highlight reel for him if he continues to play like this over the next few days, or winding up in that potential finals position. Drone sneak from Shaiko is going to get a little bit of early intel from that, and certainly can go back to that drone as he gets ready to hop back in here towards the open area. The rest of the team, though, still needs to build up and, more importantly, steal away that top control. As you can see, Herds, KZ, potentially one or two other players still going to be roaming around here, looking to cause problems if BDS try to go for a direct play on the site.
KPR-wise, he's actually like a little bit under 2. KDA-wise, he's looking fantastic. True. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Mathematics, right? Gotta make sure we're talking about the right statistical data here. As EFAC will be bringing his Bravo drone in. Let me see if we can potentially steal anything away from his opponents. One right around the corner. He at least gets the first Dread Mine, so that will open up the kitchen double door. But Nade is more than likely dedicated to this area, and they'll be able to just work that with his positioning for the time being.
So a very respectful round here. W7M not really trying to take any of these early fights as we had seen previously here. To be fair, though, that's been a common trend here. BDS has made W7M respect them a heck of a lot more, and this is the reason why they are constantly successfully finding this open player or two on the side of W7M and giving BDS a much easier time to establish that early map positioning. Philippox, very much so the strongest player on the defense right now, has gone down right at the beginning of the round. Won't be able to help out with trying to close things down right now at the tail end of regulation.
This is such a crappy moment for W7M. Not have they only lost Philippox, but also all this verticality going to a Lem so early into the round. He was already breaking up his floorboard at like a minute 45, which is such a detriment to the defense. It makes it to where your positioning is so limited. See if they can potentially get some key frags that could open up this round a bit for them. Nade will at least be able to get rid of one of the Rotero drones, but EFAC already with another kill for himself on this round as he'll take down Herds.
Consistent right now coming in from BDS and from EFAC specifically. He shuts out yet another player. Smoke Lord could get the better of him.
The one way?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that's not actually from that angle. This is the player on the other side of that one. You can see JB92 at the bottom of those stairs. KZ, in the meanwhile, does manage to grab Shaiko from his spot over here. However, he is locked into it now with the problem, and it's all soft-walled, so no easy way to escape that with top square already being fully under the control of BDS. Like that gets another one, and then Lems to shut down the very aggressive position from Nade out by break. That's 6-6, locked in, and overtime enabled for the first time in the series. So we have no winner here yet. Still could go to W7M, but they have to rebound now for the next 3 rounds.
Yeah, BDS was ready for that wide berth that W7M was taking on the defensive end. They were able to read right through it, find every single kill, moment after moment. Nothing really going for W7M as they were constantly looking to try and get something going, but obviously not the case. And you can see how that suppressor worked out so beautifully for EFAC on that spam. When you do have that suppressor on, actually, folks, you don't have any bullet tracers. So it makes it to where spamming things is actually a lot better for you. All they see is it breaking the wall up. They don't see the angle at which you're actually shooting the rounds. And in that perfect case scenario right there, Philippox walks directly into the spray, and he doesn't even know that that's where it is.
But dead heat 3-3 between both teams. W7M do get the advantage in their personal case of going on to the attacking side, where we've definitely seen a little bit more strength come out from them, more specifically inside of map number 1. But we'll see if that start on that side is really going to give them the advantage they need to close this one down. As up, they need 2 out of the next 3 here. BDS on the defensive side as well. Just kind of continue to form back inside of the first half here. On the path to rebounding, and hopefully on the path to map 3 as well. Very similar operator lineup coming in. They're not really feeling the need to change things up for their basement defense, as they can start to lock it down a bit more confidently towards the end of that first regulation half. W7M, though, do give us a very similar flair as well to the last time they attacked this site. The Canadellas are in for Nate, as well as Herds doing most of the heavy lifting here. They did ditch the Monty for this one. So going to be trying to clear out the first and second floors a little bit quicker by bringing Herds in with the Buck instead, but the overall attack will more than likely...
There's one at Janitor, right? Yeah, Limbs is in there.
Yeah.
All right, well, Limbs, what do you got for us? Because they are assaulting you so very quickly, my friend.
That didn't work out too well for the Limbs, did it?
That's something.
He just immediately gets overwhelmed by like half the team on W7M. It seemed like there was players on BDS positioned by the first floor rotates to like try and help him out from below, but it all happened too quickly, it seems. So he gets overwhelmed there. Clean first kill, relatively speaking, from W7M. Now we need to see a quick exchange from one of these first floor players, or at the very minimum, a safe retreat back down to the basement, as they're already working with a player deficit here. It would certainly hurt, if not make the round impossible to win, to go down by an additional player here too.
Which are gone. Children Lesion Mine under the hatch. But W7M, not only do they have the pick, they have so much time to work all of this. Renshiro's going to be forced back downstairs. This clear so far, so good for W7M. Do you remember that the case, or rather the bomb, is all the way downstairs, so they are going to have to eventually traverse the entire map and get a plant down low. But pick onto a Limbs, things have gotten a touch easier. They still have to deal with Brede though, and as we know with Brede, he is so strong at playing this patience game and playing these supportive roles. Smoke, one of his mainstay ops, and one that he is so very talented on. So excited to see how he could potentially close out the last portion of this round, just strictly based off of his smoke utility. Remember, you can break up quite a bit of time with those things, and we are getting down to the point where he is at his maximum potential.
Shaiko with the trade, evens out the numbers.
He knew they were going to try for the garage again.
A nice find from him. Gets the elimination on to Hertz. That's also the... well, actually, Nate does have another set of secondary hard breach as well, so they're still able to accomplish that task. Opening things up inside of the server push potentially for them, but as you can see, Spear Mine and now the smokes continuing to waste out the time here. KZ going to work back in, obviously. Mine is not going to forget the nade, but Brede gets connected by it on a long-range hit. He's way in the back there. So good possibilities you're seeing right now for someone to rotate in and grab. Like it back, still upstairs as well. Gets away with not just one, maybe a second one, but he fails to perform against that player on the inside of break room. JV92 drops instead, but it's too chaotic now. BDS seem to have it on lock as it's down to just KZ, and he misses Renshiro hiding out behind the metal cabinet. That's round 1 out of 2 here. Locked in for the French roster. One more, and they send us to map 3.
W7M cannot find the potency in the dying moments of that round. BDS able to stand tall, slow them up just enough where the frag power could shine through yet again with W7M's execution. W7M have kept a timeout in their back pocket for quite some time, John. And they're going to burn it now at the critical moment, when things have really reached critical mass. It's either now or never if BDS takes this round. So see what W7M can potentially muster as they'll be on the defensive end. What site will they even choose? Well, we won't know here for at least another handful of seconds.
There's no real safe site to go to really for either of these teams because of how even both of the halves have been, so it's really just up to them and their own personal choice about which one they feel is going to give them the best results overall. Timeout will be expiring about 5 seconds here, so they're running out of room to figure out what's going wrong. Once again, we're constantly seeing these star players get shut down in the early round, most commonly by Shaiko, but other members of BDS are stepping up occasionally to pull off that role as well. That's been a big issue here just over the past 5 or 6 rounds now, with players like Fox and the others getting denied in the first minute or two and unable to help out with that very much needed entry power in the late round.
Sarge's jamming right now.
Yeah, there's a little bumping. It's like playing ranked.
1, 2, 3, drop! My brother-in-law is a DJ in Austin, Texas, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hilariously enough. Dude, he's actually very, very good. He opened for Nero this last weekend. Oh. Yeah, so not a small time DJ at all.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, which is pretty dope. So shout out to you, Hank. Good stuff, buddy.
All right, so once again, BDS now with the advantage here. I believe this is the first time they've actually gone ahead in points. They only tied W7M during regulation. They actually took the lead away from them. So BDS finally ahead for the first time in 2 full maps nearly. Let's see if they can lock it in here. Only got one opportunity to do so with an outright lead. Otherwise, it's going to go dead heat. 7-7 yet again. For us to get a true winner with a full 15 rounds out of this second map here. Heavy on the delay composition once again from W7M here. And they are going to play into site one more time. See if this will yield results. Is Lycofact going to try and sneak in the Twitch drone through the basement? Does not work out, though. Immediately denied. Utility is going to stay nice and tightly locked for W7M.
W7M have chose the turtle strat. We're pretty downstairs.
I mean, to be fair, it's the safest one when you're kind of up against the wall like this. So.
You are correct.
It's also the most predictable.
And that's where I'm
the most played out.
You just did broadcast yourself. I mean, you're batting 1,000 right now. You're just reading my mind.
I bring both sides of the argument to my cast.
They tell you that's the best way to argue things. Know both sides, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Then he can't be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Yeah, then you can just be mean the entire time.
Yeah.
Just constantly just keep like providing neutral.
I'm just the neutral guy.
Exactly.
Future drama. I have no strong feeling one way or the other.
Finally, we got some play going on here. It's just been simple bank stuff so far, folks. We're getting the hatches over. We're doing our due diligence on the offensive side, but a Nitro cell will almost eliminate a LEMS. And that's the big telltale sign of what could be to come for W7M. They could potentially tie things up and keep Harry Demo Dempster's dreams alive of not having W7M drop a map.
Oh yeah, I just remembered that. You mentioned that earlier, of course. This is gonna put
I had to jinx it. That's why I had to talk about it, just so everybody knew that Harry was actually an idiot. I'm joking.
Well, that stat line is under risk. Toxic Fame does go off right in front of LEMS. Nearly kills him too. Look at how low he is. If he got a little bit closer to that one, that could have been the tick to send him to the grave. The peak coming in. Oh, the timing. But the player on the other end of it, KZ, did not have the confidence to full swing it. He backs away. He knows he's locked in here as well. Brita obviously has the counter for the downstairs angle on the hatch. There are a few foot shots connecting. LEMS pushes forward.
Oh my God!
SMG-11 to correct myself. Knocks out a LEMS instead. First kill is found from KZ. He's confirmed at least a 1-for-1. Can he sneak off a second pump of the M590? Just playing with him right now, but walks right into the flash. Still gets a massive chunk of damage off onto Renshiro. But regardless, Renshiro will take him down. JV92 cannot maintain, however, against Lycofact's pressure from the garage. This has been a consistent part of BDS's pushing pressure, is bullying out that player on the inside of garage, and has opened up multiple angles time after time again here on these basement assaults. Not enough for the main group to push themselves in just yet. The still Shaiko upstairs watching for a counterflank over by Beepers, and indeed, there is a member of W7M trying to play with that. Did Shaiko see this player moving in? He's had to have heard him now. Thankfully, catches that one. And with Shaiko's kill, Lycofact second one. Philippe
stay alive!
He's holding it again. The hero in the basement here. Renshiro had to restart the plan. No, runs right out into the angle for Lycofact, and that'll shut down map number 2. BDS rebound after a rough map 1, and will be sending us to map 3 to decide the series.
Well, I'm sorry, Demo. I'm sorry about your damn luck. W7M will drop their first map. We got a series in between these two, folks. Somebody